Hi. General Motors is aggressively transitioning towards an all-electric future, aiming to have zero tailpipe emissions from new light-duty vehicles by 2035. We're here from DCU, Group R from Sustainable Operations Module of 2024, presenting our insights for sustainable finance, accounting, and procurement. Starting off with finance, the transition to electric vehicles faces significant challenges, including technological hurdles, insufficient charging infrastructure, consumer concerns about range and cost, supply chain disruptions, and many more. Overcoming these challenges is crucial for the successful adoption of EVs. However, General Motors also stands to benefit from the transition to EVs. By embracing EVs, the company can improve its environmental impact, strengthen its market position, and enhance its brand reputation. While there may be initial costs, the long term financial potential is significant, driven by the growing EV market. General Motors must adopt a multifaceted approach to successfully transitioning to electric vehicles. This includes investing in research and development, collaborating with stakeholders, educating consumers, managing supply chain risks, and monitoring regulatory changes. By addressing these key areas, GM can overcome challenges and position itself for long term success in the EV market. Overall, General Motors' decision to exclusively produce EVs is a significant step towards a more sustainable future. While there are considerable impacts, challenges, and risks associated with this, the potential benefits for the company, consumers, and the society at large are substantial.
I was taking the sustainable accounting question where I had to make an LCA matrix of a Cadillac Escalade, which is a SUV that GM Motors make. There are many environmental and social categories that are impacted over the life cycle of a making of Cadillac Escalade. The six key impacts I will choose are resource depletion, ecosystem degradation, greenhouse gas emissions, waste generation and recycling, loss of arable land, and worker health and safety. Now to the recommendations. For resource depletion, GM could design vehicles with recyclability in mind and develop systems for reclaiming materials from end-of-life vehicles. Ecosystem degradation, GM should compel suppliers to use sustainable mining practices and participate in habitat restoration programs. For greenhouse gas emissions, GM could try source the building components used closer to the factory and also partner with logistics providers that are committed to using low carbon transport options. Waste generation and recycling, GM Motors should focus on increasing the recyclability of components and also invest in advanced recycling technologies that process complex materials. To combat the loss of arable land, GM should implement sustainable mining practices and ensure that impacted communities are fairly rewarded and consulted in mining activities. And for worker health and safety, GM should prioritize sourcing raw materials from suppliers who adhere to ILO labor laws and conduct third-party audits of its supply chain. Thank you very much.
Coming on to the procurement part, we'll discuss about the risks and opportunities associated with sourcing raw materials for EV production. The risks and opportunities can be divided into three categories: environmental, social, and governance. The environmental categories of risks include that while the mining of these materials can lead to resource depletion, it can also lead to water scarcity because the extraction of lithium is also a highly water intensive process. It can also lead to land degradation and loss of biodiversity. The social risks include raising concerns about child labor, unsafe working conditions, and displacement of shelters for the local communities, which causes a lot of unrest amongst them. The governance factors include that the EV production companies should comply with the sustainable government rules, because if not so, they would have to risk penalties and also reputational damage. Coming on to the opportunities, the environmental opportunities include that companies like General Motors, they can choose more sustainable batteries like solid state batteries or recyclable batteries to reduce their carbon footprint. The social opportunities include they can help the local communities with better education and better healthcare opportunities to bring long-term value between them and the companies. The governance opportunities include they can use blockchain technology to help with their sustainable practices becoming more detectable. Now moving on to Dheeraj.
Hello everyone, here's a quick look at GM's sustainable procurement strategy as it transitions to electric vehicles. Some of my key findings are GM is driving sustainability through ethical sourcing of materials like cobalt and lithium and innovating recycling programs that recover 95% of battery materials, cutting the costs by 30%. Their 35 billion investment in Ultium platform investment supports scalable EV production, targeting over 1 million EVs annually by 2025. These efforts build strong supplier partnerships, attract investors, and enhance GM's eco-friendly reputation. Some of the counteraccounts which I would like to implement challenges include limited supplies of cobalt and lithium, inefficiencies in current recycling technologies, and high EV prices that could slow adoption. Smaller suppliers also face economic barriers, potentially rising cost. In conclusion, GM is making great strides, but addressing these challenges is key to achieving its EV vision. Now, moving on to Rakshit.
Yeah, thank you. So here I'll be covering how GM is going to ensure sustainability of its entire supply chain and also what partnership it has to carry on with. The entire supply chain is divided into three major categories: sourcing, manufacturing, and distribution. Under sourcing, GM can partner with certified mining companies who follow strict ethical practices in extracting raw materials which are required for EV components. Additionally, they can also use technologies for recycling and reusing in order to minimize newly mined materials for batteries. Under manufacturing, General Motors can partner with energy companies to create on-site renewable energy generation at manufacturing plants and also use circular economy practices in order to use generated waste to produce new components. Under distribution, General Motors can collaborate with logistic companies who are specialized in low emission transportation and also use data analytics to combine shipments in order to reduce carbon footprint on distribution. And to summarize the whole case study, I would say that by combining sustainable finance, sustainable accounting, and sustainable procurement, General Motors can show transparency and attract investors by prioritizing ESG aspects. So these are the references that we have taken data from. Thank you.